That's it. Some of the senators talking about the 2017 budget. You remember what happened on the 2016 budget, missing budget padding, and a whole lot of controversies which trailed the 2016 budget. We hope the 2017 budget will have less drama. But again, there's been clamor for openness, the hashtag openness on Twitter and on social media. That means that the National Assembly should open its own budget. There's always been a one-liner on the budget of the National Assembly, 150 billion, 130 billion, and no more. No details in the budget. But this time around, the National Assembly says it will open and give the details of its budget. We hope that will happen. But let's talk about the details of this budget, called the Budget of Recovery and Growth. Over 7 trillion budget made by the Buhari government. About 30% of that is going to go into capital expenditure, and the rest about for recurrent. 2.2 million barrel per day is the estimation for oil, the production of oil. And when we wonder, how can we be able to meet up? Where are we going to be able to finance over 2 trillion of that budget that should go into capital expenditure? These are some of the issues brought to the table. If Nigeria must out of recession, the 2017 budget must speak a lot. Let's get talking on the matter now, as I have joining me a member of the Appropriations Committee in the House of Representatives, representing Makurdi Guma from Benue State, Honorable Dixon Taki. Many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Let me start by asking, I've heard comments from some senators and some members of the House that, look, that budget is tagged the Budget of Recovery and Growth. But really, that budget, to some of them, is empty. Do you think so?
No, I don't subscribe to that view. The reason is that if you look at the 2015 budget, allocation for capital project was about 15%, 16%. In 2016 budget, allocation was to capital project was 30%. 2017 is about 30.7%. So we think that when you allocate funds to capital projects, they stimulate the economy. People are going to pay workers, recruit workers, and go into construction, either construction or whatever they are going to do, and that stimulates the economy. We know we have serious challenges right now as regards liquidity and infrastructural deficit, which is why the government is investing heavily into infrastructure. I think that the budget is not empty. I want to believe that it's actually a budget for recovery.
But do you think that it's better than the budget of 2016?
Sure.
In terms of the administration of it, a lot of people said, well, it may be the first budget of the Buhari government. It was tacky, it was ill-prepared, and the executive was really did not have their hands on it, and there were a lot of errors in 2016 budget. Is there any major shift from what we saw in the 2016 budget in the 2017 budget now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we were just coming in at the time. I think the president's team was also coming in. That was their first budget that they were doing. So there were challenges with that budget. But in the end, we were able to resolve those challenges. And a good budget, a budget was passed for the Nigerian people. And implementation right now is at 50% of the budget. So we think,
of 2016 budget?
Yeah, of 2016 at 50%.
There's an oversight. Is it your committee that is doing an oversight on the level of performance of that budget?
Yeah, we are doing an oversight on the performance, but several other committees are doing it. Depends on which ministry or which sector they are supervising.
You are a member of the Committee on Appropriations. Yes. From your estimation, you think that so far, we still have about 3 months or so in the life of the 2016 budget. Exactly. You think we've done well?
We've done pretty well. That budget came in May, and then, it takes time, procurement takes time and processes to go through, which is actually a challenge. Some of us feel that the lifespan of the procurement process should be max 2 weeks, so that contractors will be engaged to go into...
Are you amending the Procurement Act in any way?
Well, I'm personally looking at bringing an amendment to that act, because I think
to make procurement faster.
Exactly, to make procurement faster, because it takes a long time for you to do procurement processes, at which time must have gone for implementation of the budgets to start. So I think that if we can make procurement max 2 weeks, people will be able to mobilize to site in every area of our sectors very quickly, and the budget implementation will be made easier.
Have you seen the president's recovery or the federal government's administration's recovery plan?
Yeah, in key areas, I've seen roads. He has invested heavily in the budget. At least.
But I mean, do you think they have a plan for recovery?
Definitely, they do.
Have you seen the document, the blueprint?
I have seen the budget. That's what I have seen.
But the budget. You've not seen the recovery plan of the federal government?
No, I have not.
Okay, if you look at what the federal government has said, for example, they said, look, we need to diversify. Everybody seems to agree on that, that we need to diversify from oil based. We have an oil-based economy, and that's an obvious fact. And again, everybody also believes that agriculture may be the way to go, but we do know that it may not be as fast as we envisage because of the need to get out of recession. But in truth, with what we have on the ground, does the 2017 budget portray that reality of wanting to diversify?
Yes, I agree. The agricultural sector has, I think, about 91 billion allocated to it. And there are several other policies that government has introduced into the system. You have the Anchor Borrowers Program, which has been expanded for farmers, those who want to go into farming, to have access to funds where they can go and do farming. So I think that, yes, we are on the road to recovery. In any case, if you want to diversify the economy of Nigeria, the best way to go is the agricultural sector. It is the only sector where you don't need so much investment to be able to make gains from.
90 billion, is that sensible?
It is not, but we don't have the money. Okay. So we have to start from somewhere.
We need to take a moment now to go on break. But when we return, we will be looking at the seriousness of the federal government in making sure that Nigeria gets out of recovery. The budget of recovery and growth. How true is this? That's what we'll be discussing more when we come back from this break. Join us again.